Man, get up here in the Zoloft and get your head right.
Well, all right, y'all. It's time for another dose from the Zoloft, baby. Hey, Matt Walsh. I think that might be he might be another reason why I'm pretty happy that I didn't take that gig at Daily Wire. I don't think we would have gotten along, man. But anyway, but let me first start out by saying this. Whatever I'm going to be discussing about Matt Walsh is coming off of there was a stabbing in Frisco, Texas, an altercation between Carmela. Forgive me if I'm getting his name wrong. Carmela and a Austin Metcalf. My prayers and shalom to both families. I am so sorry for your loss, Metcalf family. I'm really sorry to read about this. To Carmela's family, I'm sorry that whatever it was that distressed your son so badly that he felt like he had to, according to the report, he defended himself by stabbing Austin. Don't know all the details. Forgive me because I don't mean to try to sound biased as far as this goes. We have this distrust for the media and how they spin things, both right side and the left side. You can see how the right is spinning this by calling Carmela a young man, and they call Austin a student. So, you can already see they're going to bring up words like disproportionate, like Matt Walsh is going to bring up words like disproportionate, but they're already on his face, already kind of like disproportionately reporting how this is going. Let me say really quick, it doesn't matter concerning Carmela. Look, man, whatever the Austin said to you did not warrant a stabbing. It sounds like Austin told him that you're sitting in the wrong area. Now, I don't know what he meant by that. Okay, considering the race narrative that's being played up, one can guess that, hey, maybe you're suggesting that because I'm black, I'm not allowed to be sitting here. And the way that this has been gaslit and powder caked, all that sort of stuff, hey, it might lead a person to think that, well, he was just a little Simpson about that sort of stuff, and he stabbed Austin for saying it. At any rate, that didn't warrant that. Okay. Now, according to the report, according to the lawyers, he said he was defending himself. In terms of defending himself, I don't know what Austin did. As far as I know, the only thing that was said is that you're sitting in the wrong area. That does not warrant stabbing somebody. Okay. I don't know what he did that made you feel like you had to defend yourself. This is Frisco, Texas. In the earlier aspects of my career, I was speaking at tea parties around the country, and Frisco was one of the places that I live. If racism was such a big thing with the conservatives and stuff like that, I don't think I would have made that tea party out of that tea party alive. So I've spoken at such things, and I was well received. So I'm not going to be quick to blame racism as far as that goes. However, I will say this. Republicans definitely do themselves a disservice because they do not know how to handle the race narrative, and they give Democrats everything that they need for Democrats to promote their evil. I've been trying to warn us about this for years, but I have been cut off from big tech has made sure that I don't have a voice, and big con doesn't want me to hear, because they want to be seen as the oracles about how they're going to steer people in terms of elections and policy and who's going to be writing policy and executing policy and stuff like that. They want to be the oracles as far as that goes, and they don't want me in the mix. I got it. Even Daily Wire at some point was like, you're just not enough token for us. They found him an actual token, and that didn't work out too good anyway. But anyway, whatever. Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh is a liability in terms of the so-called race narrative. Okay. Long story short, as far as Matt Walsh is concerned, black folks just have this innate problem of being violent. Okay. That's how Matt Walsh wants you to perceive us. Okay. I don't have a violent criminal arrest record. I think the worst thing I've done some time in jail. I've gone to jail. All right. I've gone to jail because of failure to appear for a jaywalking ticket. That actually kept me out of the Navy. Right. So I went to go enlist in the Navy, and they brought that up from 13 years ago. It's like, man, you didn't appear in court for this traffic ticket that you got like 13 years ago. You need to take care of that. And I was like, you know what? Wow. So anyway, maybe I wasn't that serious about going in the Navy because I didn't follow up on it, but whatever. That's my violent criminal history. Walsh, there you go. Right? I'm a big violent black nemesis, menace to society. Right? It's just in my blood, man. It's just in my genes. So now Matt wants to. I guess he's the authority on what it is to be black and how we're supposed to behave, and I'm pretty sure the bell curve satisfies him and stuff like that. But what Matt Walsh fails to point out to y'all is who has control of the black community. Well, that would be the Democrat Party. All right. Black folks ain't this way just because it's just something in our genes. I mean, heck, man, if you want, it's funny how you want to make it out to be that this is a problem with black folks. The world over, you know who they're afraid of the most? White people. They're afraid of white people the most. I'm not saying that it's justified. But heck, man, when you consider the Nazis, when you consider the Vikings, when you consider the KKK that we had here, the stigma that's on white people, that's something that they did to themselves. Okay, I'm talking about innovative, very effective violence that they've waged against people. Okay, every nation the world over has some sort of reputation of violence. Okay, now the thing is, Matt, what you don't seem to understand is that these areas where black people seem to be most violent, and Republicans, they have a big hand in this. They're very naive when it comes culturally, very naive. Okay, and you're no exception. The places where people complain about the most violence and where black folks have the most grievance concerning race relations and stuff like that and racism are run by Democrats. Okay, the judicial system has legions of Democrats lawyers. How long have I been telling y'all this? The school system is run by Democrats. You have a Democrat strategy in place that is made to condition black folks because black folks, the Democrat Party is dependent on black people to steer the perspective of the nation. They've imposed the apartheid policies on black folks that keep them bitter and keep them conditioned into thinking that they're victims that are owed. Okay, it keeps them in a state of discontent as well as a state of arrested development. Okay, this is what the Democrats do. And people like Matt Walsh don't do anything to stop it, except for saying, look at black people. They're just disproportionately violent. You think we got this way just for no reason? This is ongoing conditioning and imposition by the Democrat Party to make sure that we stay a voter stock and make sure that there's a rift maintained between Republicans and black folks when the Republican Party was started because of black folks. Okay, radical abolitionists got together for the Republican Party to stop the white privilege of the Democrat Party, the systemic racism of the Democrat Party, the white supremacy of the Democrat Party. You'd fit right in, Joe, with the Democrat Party. I mean, just because you think differently than the left doesn't necessarily make you conservative. Okay, like I've said 1,000 times, Hitler thought differently. He didn't have the same views as communists. That didn't make him a capitalist. All right, so people like Matt Walsh are a part of the problem that a whole bunch of Republicans are following after. They fawn over people like this and they give him a platform. And he's not telling you anything helpful. He's a liability. And he's making sure that the rift between races, particularly races in the Republican Party, namely white folks and black folks, stays divided. He is actually serving the Democrat objective. As I've told y'all before, the Democrat Party is the national Manson family. They want a race war. They want this rift. Okay, so Matt Walsh does not tell you the full scope of things. He just wants to he's like Charlie Kirk. He just wants to make it look like, hey, we black folks, it's just in our genes to be violent. It's conditioned that way. The Democrats have control over everything. And they are conditioning the black community to think a certain way. And Republicans, they don't help. Like when you got Republicans out there making defenses for the Confederacy and stuff like that, the Republican Party is like this ignorant party, mainstream party that is like one of the only factions that I know that waves the flag of their enemy and says that, hey, this is American history. Out there waving the Confederate flag and stuff like that. They're saying we're waving this flag in rebellion against tyranny and stuff like that. You idiots, the Confederate battle flag and the Confederate national flag, whatever you think you want to call it, was all designed by the Democrat Party. And you guys are out there waving it. And this is why you have black folks who think that you're a bunch of racists. because you serve at the behest of the Democrat Party. Democrat Party founded the Confederacy. They're the ones who wrote the Constitution of the Confederate States. They're the ones who said, hey, we're going to trade in these white robes for black ones. So you got Democrats. That's why do you think there's so many Democrat activist judges? Why do you think the Democrats run the education system? Why do you think the Democrats are running the prison system? Why do you think there's so many legions of lawyers who are Democrats? Because they're all part of the invisible empire, and they're all part of conditioning the black community to make sure that the black community helps them steer the perspective of the nation and use the plight of the black folks that they imposed on black people to influence how people vote and how people see you. And Republicans, unfortunately, have to wait until Democrats make things so freaking bad that they consider them as an option. That's the only real strategy that the Republicans have. Okay, so y'all, Matt Walsh, y'all, he's doing you a disservice. He is doing you a disservice. He doesn't tell you where this violent tendency of the black community comes from. They're in a community that is conditioned by the Democrat Party to behave a certain way. They are in the black community's ear from birth, y'all. That is, if the black kid doesn't make it past the abortion clinic that the Democrats have set up in their area. If they make it past the genocidal campaign of the Democrats, then they will make sure that they are within the indoctrination campaign of the Democrat Party. That makes black folks think that they are victims who are owed. Okay, and hey, if we got to take a white person's life to satisfy some of what we feel like we're owed, we're going to do it. That's what the Democrats are leading into. They want this rift, y'all. And Republicans, mainstream Republicans, you ain't doing a damn thing to help stop it, except for listening to people like Matt Walsh and think that you're getting informed. You are not getting informed. Not in the way that you should be. Are you getting a whole bunch of information that may be true, like the stats you can put out there? Yeah, they're true. That's unfortunate. It really is. What's the root of it, though? You've overlooked that, and you've done yourself a great disservice. And you are allowing Matt Walsh to make you think that people like me. As a matter of fact, if a race war broke out, y'all, unfortunately, I'd probably be one of the first casualties. Because you'd have these rednecks out there who would think that I'm against white folks just because I'm black. And rednecks, by the way, that's another example of how you guys do yourself a disservice. You out there proud of this redneck culture and stuff like that. A redneck, y'all, a redneck is a pledged Democrat voter. That's what a redneck is. Y'all thinking that a redneck is somebody out there who just works hard and gets a farmer tan. You've made up your own truth, and that doesn't work out that good. And that's why you have people thinking that you guys are a bunch of racists when you guys are out there talking about being proud of being rednecks. A redneck was a person who wore a red scarf. And in their labor, they're because they've been suckered into the idea that Democrats are the party of the working class. They're for the working man and stuff like that. No, the Democrats got involved with the unions to make sure that when slaves were freed, that them jobs would go to white folks first. And the Democrats got involved with the unions. Okay, and took over the unions. That's what being a redneck was all about. Okay, your red scarf meant that you were pledging your vote to the Democrat Party. And you wonder why people think that the parties have switched sides. You see what I'm saying? So you guys want to go ahead and be proud of that culture and stuff like that, like in the South and whatever. It ain't about the South, y'all. It's about what Democrats influenced. So these are the things that Matt Walsh is overlooking and just wants you to think that this is just some innate problem that we black folks have. It's just in our blood. It's in our genes. It's just how we are. It's conditioned that way. And the sad part of it is that a lot of Republicans, mainstream Republicans, y'all just as influenced by the Democrat Party as anybody else. They got you on their strings too. You their puppets too. You say all the stuff that they want you to say. And you think that because you got your political victory with Donald Trump that, hey, we're taking the country back. Your spiritual victory is lost. Your cultural victory is lost. Your political victory will not stand. You keep listening to people like Matt, well, you're going to be right back to where you was. All right. So anyway, that's my take on it, y'all. I hope I have let y'all know and let y'all in on something useful. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not just trying to inform you. I'm trying to give you like some actual tips on how to knock this stuff off in the culture. Because this mainstream, big con and all that sort of stuff, what's going on at the Daily Wire, and they're not telling you anything useful, y'all. They're not telling you anything useful. This stuff is going to get worse. Buckle up. It's going to get much worse. They don't want you to hear people like me. And you ain't going to hear people like me, unfortunately. God willing, maybe something will change and you'll be able to, get some useful perspective from people like yours truly more. But unfortunately, no, the ones who have the big platforms are, people like Matt Walsh. All right, y'all. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. BronzeSerpentMedia.com. If you're listening on the YouTubes, a like and a subscribe would be helpful, even though they're shadow banning me. But who knows? Maybe we'll glitch the algorithm and all that other good stuff. All right, y'all. Thank you guys so much. We'll talk again soon. Bye.